Gosar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mayor, I know we all share a common thread in regards to educating our children. And, you know, looking at the budget, we had about a 5.4% increase in education funding. Are you concerned about that?
I'm concerned only, Dr. Gosar, that we can invest even more money in education. Education reform has been afoot now for several years in the District of Columbia, and it is a huge priority of mine. Some of the increases, frankly, reflect an increased enrollment. For the first time in 41 years, we saw an increased enrollment in our traditional public schools. And for the first time since the advent of charter schools, we saw an increased enrollment in both. We had an increased enrollment of about 900 children in the traditional D.C. public schools this year, and another 1,700 in charter schools for an enrollment increase of 2,600. So carrying that forward, some of the increases in our budget are to ensure that we provide an adequate education for those children, as well as projected enrollment increases. We have made a very healthy investment also in pre-kindergarten, early childhood education services. And as a result, I think that is a contributing factor to our enrollment increases, and we want to continue to do that because we recognize getting these children at the earliest possible point will make a huge difference in educational outcomes and, frankly, life outcomes. The other thing that we are doing, Dr. Gosar, is we are tackling a problem now that has been longstanding, and that is how we educate children with disabilities in the District of Columbia. We have had far too many children who have had to be educated in non-public tuition placements, as we call them, at great expense to the city. Last year we spent about $160 million on those children, plus another $93 million on transportation of kids with disabilities in traditional public schools, charter schools, and non-public placements. So we are going to invest more in our public education system next year, hopefully to incentivize that system to begin to bring our children back in the public education system, to comply with the law of the land, which changed in 1975, and still, of course, exists in 2011 in the form of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So I think we are making progress on the education front. We still have a very, very long ways to go to be able to say that we are adequately educating every child, but I think we are going in the right direction.
You know, I'm sure you're aware that we had H.R. 471, the Scholarships for Opportunity and Results Act. I'm also from Arizona that struggles with the same type of educational aspect. And it's, you know, we look at everything on the table, all aspects of where we can go with assets to try to attain and help every child. Do you support that act?
I support strong public education, Dr. Gosar, and that's where I've placed my emphasis. I believe that education and strong public education is the great emancipator. It is the great liberator. It is what levels the playing field. And so I've placed my emphasis, and I've indicated here before, on public education. I will continue to do that. I will implement whatever, you know, laws and programs are required of the District of Columbia, of course. But as a product of public education of this city, I know what it can do for children. I've seen what it can do for children, and I want us to have the strongest possible public education system. And we have a lot of choice. We have a lot of choice in terms of 123 traditional public schools, and we now have the most robust charter movement in the country, 52 charter schools operating on 93 campuses with almost 30,000 children enrolled in those programs. So we probably offer the greatest variety of choices in public education when compared to anywhere else in the nation.
Well, I would hope that, particularly in light of the Supreme Court ruling with Arizona with the voucher system, that we would also embrace the voucher system and looking at it as a tool in order to facilitate all children all across the board, because you need all opportunities to embrace children. So I would hope that we would really, truly look at that system and integrate it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.